This episode is brought to you by Cruising Bears, a global travel community built on giving bears, chubs, and chasers the ultimate vacation escape. Visit bigfatgaycruise.com for details.
Sunny Hollywood. It's the 2026 Chubby Awards. I'm Trevor Keyson, a super chub, and your host with the most. I am wearing a gown made from all of the discarded gowns from the Oscars this year. We are in the Dolby Theater, which we have propped open for the past 2 weeks.
To air it out.
It has been overrun with raccoons, but we're here. The stars are studded. And we're ready to hand out some awards.
Huzzah. Why am I suddenly transported to Pawnee, Indiana? Hi, my name is Michael Willer. I'm a chubby chaser and one of your 4 co-presenters today of the coveted Chubby Awards. I needed help bringing them in because they are exceedingly heavy. So Dan helps me with that as well.
Hey, my name's Don. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood, and today I would like to thank all of the chasers who made this possible. It's just an honor to be nominated.
Hi, I'm Dan Oliverio, author, public speaker, and chubby chaser, and today, presenter. And I'm just waiting for the fucking bar to open, people. When does the bar
open? We are grateful for you all being here in this delayed award show, but we're here. Yes. We've got little tuxes on the raccoons we could get close to, and the others just don't mind them.
And they're already in black and white. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're grateful to the sponsors of the 2026 Chubbies, including Cruising Bears. You missed their Rockstar Cruise, but it's not too late to sign up for Bigger Cruise 2026, going to Alaska. They set sail June 26th, and you're cruising through July 4th. So make some fireworks. Get on the cruise. Get more information at biggercruise.com or bigfatgaycruise.com, I think.
Fun fact, fireworks used to be weapons of war and revolution. Don't know why I would mention that right now, but it's just a cool fun fact.
We want to say thank you to all of our Patreons who keep the lights on and keep our editors happy. We want to say thank you to Bearskin and remind folks that if you want some very special underwear that you can enjoy for yourself or for your special loved one.
I'm wearing some right now.
I'm wearing some on my head.
Oh, that's what that is.
With our special code.
Big Fat Gay Pod.
Big Fat Gay Pod, thank you.
All attendees of the Chubbies also get a Big Fig mattress. If you can make it in person, you can get your own at using our special link on our website and support the podcast and get yourself a mattress.
Everyone in our local live audience is checking under their seats right now for their Big Fig mattress.
Just they're compressed really tight, so don't unwrap them. No. Okay, somebody in the back just
one of the raccoons was chewing on them.
It went catapulting up into the air. And before we get started, just a quick announcement because of our scheduling snafu and I got sick at the worst possible time. We will be skipping next week due to just a bunch of unavailabilities. But it's not a full hiatus, just 1 week off, and then we'll be right back to it, going strong on April 1st, which I know sounds like an April Fool's joke. It's not. That is
we won't be back April 1st because...
Oh, sorry. No, the 8th. There we go. Yes. Okay, so that's clear. April 8th. Sorry, we're skipping the 1st, back in the 8th. Okay, well, without further ado, we want to get to our very first Chubby Award of the night. We're all giving out 2 of them. To anybody new to the concept, we go through last year, so 2025, all of the various wonderful high points in fat media culture. Sometimes we're looking at like businesses or just anything positive. Yeah, activism, anything uniquely positive, moving fat rights forward. And we highlight 2 of them each to give a Chubby Award to. Oftentimes these are media, but not necessarily. However, mine it's going to be focusing on, little drum roll please, one Zach Cherry playing Dylan from the show Severance. If anyone who's seen this show already immediately knows who I'm talking about and why I'm talking about him. Severance is an American science fiction psychological thriller television series created by Dan Erickson. It stars Adam Scott and Zach Cherry and many others, lots of fantastic actors. The series follows employees at Lumen Industries, a biotechnology corporation that have undergone severance, a procedure that splits a person's memories between work and their personal life. This creates two separate identities for one employee, the innie, who has no knowledge of the outside world, and the outie, who lives their outside life without any knowledge of their job, which is already a fascinating premise. Like, the show itself is brilliant. You should totally watch it just on its own merits. I do want to highlight Dylan, the character played by Zach Cherry, who is a fat actor, because it is really cool to see. So like in season 1, he plays more of a supporting role. It gets bigger over time, but it starts off, I don't know if this is intentional or not. It starts off as kind of like the fat comic relief character. And Zach Cherry is a comedian, so it sort of makes sense. However, they clearly have always had this through line for him of what is his outie like? Like, we meet his innie primarily. Dylan is the innie of his character. So we see this kind of like young, you know, I mean, literally young in that he hasn't lived very long. They're like a year old basically, and sort of naive, but also like doesn't have the like trappings of the real world and real world societal issues. And we learn in season 2, of course, this is going to be massive spoilers for Severance. So if you, you know, fair warning. So in season 2, we learn that the outie for Zach's character is kind of a fuck up. Like, he hasn't been able to hold down a job. He has no self-confidence. He has kids, but he's detached from his family, and he's just trying to do something right, and needs to keep his job. So he gets the severance procedure so that he doesn't have to work. His innie does all the work.
Right. And so basically it's so he can be a non-fuck up in some place that's not him.
Right. Dylan, however, his innie, is incredibly industrious. He's one of the best employees in their office. He's very focused. He has lots of self-confidence. He knows that he's sexy, or he just has like a sixth sense of it. He's like, I suspect, you know, because they don't really know anything, but they always think about things and talk about them, because what else are they going to do? And so you have this total dichotomy between the two of them. And at some point, the Audie's wife, Gretchen, comes to visit the innie, which is the first time we've seen this happen. And she comes to visit him, and the relationship that develops is essentially an affair where she ends up falling in love with the innie for all of the qualities that she wished the Audie had.
It's such a great show.
Yeah.
And it's just a brilliant, and of course, these are the innie and the Audie are both played by Zach. I mean, it's the same guy. It's just two different
It's two aspects
slices
of one character. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a point in the show where Dylan, the innie, writes a request to his Audie to let him free. And this happens a few times we've seen. He says, "Can you please let me out?" And I want to play the scene where Dylan reads the response from his Audie. His Audie writes him back and says, "Here's what I have to say." And Zach narrates the entire thing.
Your Audie has responded to your resignation request. As it may yield an embarrassing emotional response in you, and as I'm duly swamped, I shall leave you to read it in solitude.
Just runs out the door.
Opening the envelope, taking out the document.
And now Zach Dylan is reading this response.
Dear Innie, I've read your request and organized my response into 3 points. Point 1, fuck you. Gretchen is my wife and my beloved, and your actions with her were deeply fucking indecorous. Point 2, I get it. She's perfect. And given our shared physiology, it tracks that you'd agree. Here's the thing. I've never been an impressive person. So when Gretch told me that you're like this self-assured badass, I don't know. It stung. So I guess point 3 is, I hope someday she sees in me what she sees in you. In the meantime, if I'm being really honest, I guess I like knowing you're there. So, if you want to leave, you can, but I think you should stay. Sincerest regards, your outie.
Magnificent. And the thing you can't see there is that he's none of the, am I right, Michael? None of the boxes like accept, deny, approve. None of them are checked.
Yeah, so he's reading this form, and the response that his outie just read at the bottom, it has an option for him to check, approve, or deny, and it's not checked. He's genuinely giving him the ability to make a really tough moral decision, because the any version of him is trapped essentially, and cannot sleep, cannot die, basically just exists in this corporate hellscape forever and ever and ever, only to support his outie. Yeah. And now they're having this crossover where his outie is saying, look, I'm a real guy and I need your help. Will you help me? And it's an incredible evolution of this character, because in the beginning, as I said, in season 1, he seems mostly like comic relief, but you just get a sense that there's more they're building to, until in season 2, he has again, major spoilers, very much a like Hodor from Game of Thrones moment that is so heroic and epic and wonderful. And he just gets so much to do. It's the most, I watched season 2 last year and I want to rewatch it. I don't remember as much about it because it's very complicated, except for these moments, because they were just, they hit so hard. Yeah. And his performance is a big part of that.
And Zach Cherry does a superb job. It's so much subtle work. The show itself has a very subdued tone. The actor's work is so small, but it says so much because of the context. And it's a really good triumph for Zach Cherry, who, of course, Michael, I know and appreciate from The Magicians. I think I sent him up one year.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gotten a lot of work. He's also in Fallout, which I haven't seen yet. He was nominated for an Emmy, by the way, for season 2 of Severance, for his role as Dylan and his outie, whose name I'm forgetting. But just a phenomenal performance, a fat actor doing the widest range of work. And it's incredibly, even when they cross over the two voices, you can hear his voice change in character. It's just brilliant. I highly, highly recommend him. He's well earned this year's 2026 Chubby.
Yeah. Yeah. And that Emmy thing too is good.
And the Emmy, I'm sure he likes the Emmy, but the Chubby's where it's at.
Well, I wanted to bring up Abbott Elementary, right? Now, I don't have a clip because I'm not talking about a specific performance. I'm talking about the show in general in the age of Ozempic, right?
Oh.
This is a show that started off with a cast that they cast for realistic bodies, realistic looks, right? And then the show exploded, became massively popular. All of these actors had careers that just rocketed out of the gate. And I'm not going to call out anyone in the cast for weight loss, but because I don't think anyone on the cast drastically changed their body types. But the way they presented their core cast did alter a little bit, I think, in that like their clothing changed a little bit. They scaled up their bodies, and their bodies, in my observations, slimmed down a little bit. Okay. Quinta Brunson, however, the showrunner of the show, I think did an amazing job of sort of keeping the reality of the show and the bodies they cast very present by their massive supporting cast and the world they live in, right? They kept consistently casting the world with realistic, diverse bodies being presented in serious supporting roles that were very useful. So even though the core cast and some of the recurring characters, I think, have slimmed down a little bit in the age of Ozempic, and I can't fault them for it. They have careers they are going out into the world with.
Well, that's their own damn body. Let them do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Their show is remaining extremely representative of the bodies that you would expect to see in a public school in that environment.
Good point.
And I love that. And it's stayed funny, sharp, and on focus, right? And in a show where I think, like, one of the reasons why I highlighted Abbott Elementary in their first season was because of a multi-size gay relationship. Even though that character broke up with their partner and has only been seen with straight-sized people since then, the show is still maintaining positive, focused representation on body diversity. So I just want to call them out on that, and I think they're doing a good job.
I just wanted to underscore that oftentimes, I mean, it used to be the standard operating procedure, and I'm sure in a lot of ways it still is, but productions would mandate what their casts were allowed to weigh.
Yeah.
So
in the old days,
if they're, I mean, even still, like they have to be more legally defensibly tactful about it. Like they can sort of heavily imply that they're not happy, but they can't make you contractually agree to something unless the character is written that way. But to see a production maybe specifically going out of their way to continue to include varieties of body types says a lot.
And not to punish them when their bodies change. I remember watching ER a long time ago, and there was a large nurse that was central to the cast, right? And they had a season finale where I think it was like someone comes in and takes the hospital hostage, and then they come back, 9 months later, and I think that actress had lost something like 50 pounds. In what was supposed to be a back-to-back episode. And it kind of ended her presence on the show, right? Like, she's still there, but she just went to the background and you didn't see her again. Especially during that episode that was supposed to take place a couple hours later. So it's nice to see a show where people or the actors aren't being punished for those body changes either.
I want to build on Don's recognition of cast diversity. And I want to highlight The Residents, which is a new comedy mystery from Shondaland. And
I'm looking forward to hearing about this. I have not heard anything about this yet.
This is, okay, so you have to like a couple of things. You have to like a comedy murder mystery. I guess you have to like comedy, you have to like a murder mystery. And it is a limited series from Netflix. And the best way to describe it is it's this sort of upstairs, downstairs, and backstairs in the White House. And they're trying to solve this murder. And they bring in, of course, world's greatest detective, Cordelia Cup. And Cordelia Cup is played by Uzo Aduba.
She's so good.
Who is an American actress of Nigerian descent. Her breakout role was as Crazy Eyes in the Netflix drama Orange is the New Black. This is another Netflix show helmed by Shondavision. And it is just so wonderful. So anyway, Cordelia Cup comes in. And if you've seen Orange is the New Black and you know the character of Crazy Eyes, this could not be farther from that.
Yeah.
Cordelia Cup is completely professional, put together in tweeds. She's an eccentric detective, and she arrives on the premises in order to solve a murder that occurred at a state dinner for the Australian Prime Minister.
Wow.
That is our point of departure. During the investigation, interpersonal conflicts among the personnel of the residents begin to unfold. And I think what marks this mystery of the show is, number one, the diversity of cast, because you're casting, because the White House, with its staff, upstairs and downstairs is like a city. Mm-hmm. And so keeping track of the characters who seem to be all suspect. There must be like 24 suspects. And by the way, Cordelia would not approve of my saying suspect. She doesn't have suspects. She has people of interest. It's a whole thing with her. And so what I love about this is the body diversity. Uzo Aduba is not a small girl. She is beautiful and voluptuous and curvy and so smart. And the character is just brilliant. And we can't give you a clip of this particular thing, so I'll just say this in advance. There's a thing she does, the character and therefore the actress, where she's trying to get information out of a person of interest. And the way she does it is by asking the question, they answer, and she just stares back.
I love that.
She just stares
Can they,
back.
because either if she knows they're lying, then she can get a sense of whether or not they have a conscience.
Well, and because people hate that, right? You're being interviewed by this detective, and she's not taking your answer. She's not moving on.
Yeah.
She's just staring right back at you. And the pressure created in that silence is just brilliant. And it for non-actors, you got to know, it is fucking hard to do nothing on camera.
Yeah.
That is one of the hardest
It's
things you can
brutal.
do.
It's one of the most brutal things to ask your actor to do.
It is hard. And she does it brilliantly. I think we have a clip of the show just to kind of set up the repartee between, guess who's in this cast? So it is Uzo Aduba. It is Randall Park, whom you might know from, help me out.
Yeah,
guys.
lots of stuff. I mean, he's in most of the...
He's in Marvel movies.
Like Ant-Man, Marvel movies, yeah.
He's sort of the non-sexy Asian guy in Hollywood, right?
One Division.
Yeah. And who's not, now it's between those two in the clip. Also in the cast, Don, perk your ears up, Mary Wiseman.
Oh,
Who is genius in this, of course, because she's that kind of actor. And so she plays the irate Nouvelle Cuisine chef of the White House. It's just gorgeous.
No.
But anyway, if you play the clip, Michael, this is between Randall Park and Uzo Aduba.
I'm here if you need anything.
I don't need anything.
Well, if you do.
What would I need?
Federal resources.
Like a tax refund?
I'm here to help.
No, you're the guy they put on the case to make sure I don't put my nose in things that might be uncomfortable for everyone, and you're the guy who tries to undermine me when I tell them the truth. I've met 100 guys like you, and I don't remember the name of a single one.
My name is Edwin. I'm not that guy. I'm really just here to help.
What floor?
You want to go to the party, right?
Yes.
First floor.
They're going into an elevator.
Can you hit one?
She says to the guy who wanted to.
That would help.
Anyway, that gives you a sense of the repartee, the pacing. They do some great work in helping the audience keep track, and really the detective too, keeping track of all these characters. But again, the diversity of body type between the white politics bros and the backstairs maid, and Jane Curtin is in this as the president's mother, who's an alcoholic. It's just genius. It's just genius.
And Chris Grace.
Oh, of course,
Oh,
and
Chris
Chris
Grace
Grace.
is
How
on.
could I
Yeah.
forget Chris Grace? Yeah.
He's blowing up.
Anyway, goes to the residence. It is if mystery is your kind of show and you like that kind of crunchiness to a mystery, this is absolutely it, and it's funny.
Man, we got some good recommendations going on.
Yeah.
Trevor, what you got?
So for my first chubby, I want to, I feel like it's the whole cast because there's so much diversity in the cast. Netflix's Survival of the Thickest, which is a comedy. It's sitcom. It stars Michelle Buteau as Mavis Beaumont, a newly single Black woman in her 30s, rebuilding her life and career as a fashion stylist after a traumatic breakup. It centers on self-love, body positivity, navigating queer friendships, and chasing professional dreams in New York City. And so Michelle Buteau is a fat Black woman. It is a wonderful show because it's sitcom-y. There is a lot of body positivity and kind of talking about diverse bodies, not just fat. Talking about how getting clothing is different for trans women. There's a point in the second season where they talk about kind of just being an older woman and navigating fashion and navigating kind of having a body that has changed over decades. Michelle Buteau is so amazing in this show. And just the way she embodies Mavis. And it's really just what I like is it is a fat character who it is very much about fat, but also not about fat.
In what sense? Like, how do they include it but not make it about it?
So, I mean, it's in the fashion industry, and she's kind of talking about, big girls are having a moment, but it's so much more to that. So in the second season, Mavis has kind of relaunched her career, and she's doing these pop-up fashion events in Brooklyn in this little space. So she's initially trying to do plus size events, but then does an event centered around wedding dresses for trans women. But so the first season is very much centered in the plus size world of fashion. So I want to share a clip of, this is one of the first jobs that Mavis gets as she is trying to rebuild her career after a very public breakup with her fashion photographer boyfriend, where she has kind of lost some of her connection. So she has made a connection with the character of Natasha Karina, played by Garcelle Bouvet, who is a former runway model who is kind of aged out and is trying to get her groove back for a very public event. So this clip, it's two scenes. It's when she's first meeting Natasha and then the start of the event.
Givenchy.
What? Those dresses don't fit anymore. I need to feel sexy and relevant and fierce for this red carpet event.
Gotcha. What do you think of my lookbook?
It's a book, and I'm looking at it.
Okay. Natasha, I know exactly what it feels like when the designers that you love just don't come in your size. But I promise, I can find you a dress that will make you feel the way that this Givenchy did. All I have to do is get your measurements.
Oh, that's a no. No.
Okay. Well, what's your size?
4.
No.
Oh.
I bought something for the event.
Oh.
Yes. It will take 2 inches off my waist.
Oh, it's like a corset.
Is that a straitjacket?
It's a corset.
Of course it is. I was speaking metaphorically. Can I just say, Natasha, you are gorgeous the way you are. Honestly, women from all over the country are flying down to South Florida and literally putting liquid concrete in their bodies just to look like you. You don't have to look like a virgin from Bridgerton.
What do you know, cartoon mouse lady? I am wearing this corset. End of discussion. Can you help me?
Oh, okay.
She's trying to put it on.
I don't. Okay, just let me. If you just suck it. One. You know what? I am so sorry. I want to dress women and help them love their bodies. If I dress you, there's no corset. God, I was just trying to help. Try to be nice. Maybe a cartoon mouse knows some stuff.
She said yes.
Oh my God!
Don't F it up.
She just walked away and didn't say anything.
The event is tomorrow.
Oh, shit.
Whoa.
Well, what's the event? Hold on. Is this one of them rich people birthday parties where they pretend they dead?
So now she's at the event.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sort of skip
wait, is this a living wake? Why are they crying?
This is my ex-husband's funeral. Why aren't you taking pictures?
She's dressed to the nines.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am just trying to process where we are at right now.
I'm sorry, but I need pictures taken as I get close to the casket.
No, Natasha, absolutely not. I did not sign up to make a mockery of someone's funeral. That is ridiculous. This is not right. I don't feel comfortable doing this. Absolutely not. No!
Listen to me. I don't think I've ever felt like I was in my body until now. Thanks to you. I have waited for this day for a long, long time. How does my cleavage look?
Sitting pretty like 2 fucking coconuts.
So there, it is very much, there's this through line of loving yourself and body positivity, but it also is kind like, I like that there's this, sitcom-y messiness to it, where this beautiful moment of helping this, aged out model get in her skin again is so that she can show off at her ex-husband's funeral. And it gets messier from there. I want people to be able to get the big vibe moment that kind of goes viral that then helps Mavis kickstart her career. But so there's these kind of funny, messy things, but then also there's points where she and her group of friends, including Tone Bell as Khalil and Tasha Smith as Marley. So the cast is, there's like no white people. It is very black. It is unapologetically black. And there's points where they kind of break this, like almost sidestep out of sitcom into talking about racism. There's Tone Bell's girlfriend has a teenage son, and she's starting to have the talk with him about racism.
About being attacked as a black male teen, right?
Yeah. And just so it's amazing to see the evolution of the show. And also, like, the first season was 2023. I feel like we were still very much in body positivity, really having a moment. There's a big guest star scene from Nicole Byer, and kind of where she is showcasing her lingerie line that launched at the time. And then the second season came out last year, so 2025. And I feel like even just in those 2 years, there was such a big shift in the world, which I think is partially why they expanded and blew up what body positivity means. But there is still a great arc of Mavis getting into a kind of very public rivalry debate with a designer who has launched a new plus line that is not actually plus. But it's just a really great show. There is going to be a third and final season coming out this year, but it's really just an amazing, sweet show. It's 30-minute episodes, and I want to give it all the chubbies.
Yay. Well, keeping the love going. My second pick for to win a chubby, especially because she didn't win Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress, and I really feel like she should have, but I'm biased.
Who is this?
This goes to Wunmi Mosaku. She is a Nigerian British actress who was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in Sinners. So literally just had the Oscars for this. She didn't
such
win.
A killer role, such a killer performance, such a great actress,
spectacular. The fact that she, this movie should have swept the Oscars. That's my unofficial opinion. Anyway, we don't have enough time in this podcast to go over all of the reasons why Sinners is a phenomenal film. I'll do a quick little snapshot of the plot, but I won't spoil it because there's so much cool shit going on in this movie that you really want to go in knowing as little as possible. It's a 2025 American film written, produced, and directed by Ryan Coogler, set in 1932 in the Mississippi Delta. The film stars Michael B. Jordan in dual roles as criminal identical twin brothers who return to their hometown in the Jim Crow South, where they are confronted by, well, let's say, conflict. Don't read the Wikipedia summary of this movie if you don't want spoilers immediately at the front. But Wunmi plays Annie, who is sort of the, old flame of one of the twins named Smoke, played by Michael B. Jordan. And I want to play a clip first and then talk about the movie and her role, because at the point in the movie that this happens, you know very little about anybody. This is early on, and we're dealing with a lot of subtext and a lot of just like deep history between these two characters. So he's come back to town. This is their first meeting since he's come back, so they haven't seen each other in a while. And it's just, I mean, both of them are absolutely on fire for this scene.
Just this, Miss Annie, and a pinch of high, John.
All right. Now, don't sell none of this on the way home. I don't want your mama coming at me crazy later.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I can't believe you taking this make-believe shit.
Smoke, give me my money for I cut your black ass.
You gonna put that blade up, woman? I'll trade you.
I don't want your money.
Don't be stupid now.
I ain't stupid. Your money come with blood.
All money come with blood, baby.
Not like yours.
This shit won't even spend nowhere else. Look
I
at
ain't
it.
going nowhere else. house. I don't need that cursed money you got.
You know, woman, I've been all over this world. In cars, ships, trains. I've seen men die ways I didn't even know was possible. I ain't never saw no roots, no demons, no ghosts, no magic. Just power. And only money can give you that.
You fool. All that war and whatever the hell you been doing in Chicago. And you back here in front of me. 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a brain that work. How you know I ain't pray and work every route my grandmama taught me to keep you and that crazy brother of yours safe every day since you've been gone?
So why those roots ain't work on our baby then?
I don't know. But they work for you.
So you can tell this whole film is just loaded with incredible both character work on the front, but then subtext and layers upon layers of just brilliant writing. She has, I don't know that they actually say the word voodoo, but I like kind of this like voodoo magic kind of belief. I don't think they actually identify it in the movie. But that's what he's talking about. He's saying this, you know, it's this fake whatever. And she's like, all the violence you've been through and you're still safe. You don't think that was because of me. Mm. And the power that they take her performance, but there is a touch of the supernatural to the power she exudes in that moment. You can hear it in the sound design, even just listening to the clip. But that is not the only moment in the movie where she gets like to steal the scene like that. Like she just radiates a knowledge about the world that no one else has.
And a certainty.
And a certainty.
A beautiful certainty.
And in any other movie, this would be one of the tougher roles to play because usually if you're the exposition character, you're one of the most boring characters. You have to just say a bunch of stuff for people to understand what's happening. And they wrap it into her role in the scenes as well as like her character work and why she's there and what she wants out of things. Like the way that she embodies like Black women in this time period, but I think across history, essentially, if you again, the movie covers a lot of themes that are not rooted to that time period. It is spectacular, and her work in it is equally spectacular.
It's also one of the rare roles where a woman with a body like that is one of the sexual cores of the movie.
Yeah.
Her sexuality is as powerful as anyone else's in that movie.
She
and
sort of
boy, does she bring
embodies like that sort of like, if you can imagine like a Mother Earth goddess of fertility, but also power and caretaking and life and death and like that sort of godlike figure, she is essentially playing in the real life of this movie. Like she just is that.
I would like to point out that's not the only role in which he's done this. Her portrayal of Ruby in Lovecraft Country is equally stunning, and a similar,
just one hell of an announcement to the scene too. Just like here I am. She just roared onto the scene with that.
But in exactly. And in playing Ruby in Lovecraft Country, she is not the all-knowing person. She is very much the like, what the hell's going on here? As her body transforms into that of a lithe white woman.
Yeah.
And then encountering the body difference and the racial difference.
It's stunning.
It's incredible.
It's a stunning work. It's stunning take. It's stunning writing. It's so beautifully done. I also want to take one moment to pitch one other project that this actress did that I think is very worth seeing that most people missed, called His House. It's a horror movie from 2020 where she plays an African immigrant to England who is assigned a house when she arrives there as a refugee immigrant with her husband, and the house is fucking haunted. And oh my God, it's not just the fear of the house. It's they build this tangible fear of being a refugee in a city where no one wants you. Mm. And if you don't stay in this house, they're going to send you back to a place where they will kill you.
And yet you can't stay in the house.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And she is so amazing in it. So
I want to check that out.
It's really good.
I also, if you haven't seen Sinners, I cannot urge you strongly enough to watch this movie. Watch it for real. Don't just put it on in the background of something.
we tried to put it on the background. Does not work. So we have to go back
you have to watch it.
We have to go back.
This movie, this is cinema. This is true cinema. It demands your attention. It is an incredible film. It has just, it is jam-packed with cultural subtext, and yet also the character work is fascinating. Like it works on every level. There are subtleties, which if you look for them, like in the way that some of the Black characters are altered in a way where you see them acting just a little differently, a little weird. And it occurred to me that I think they are acting in the way that white producers tell Black actors to act Black in their movies. Like black it up, basically. Like the notes of, be more urban, like, and basically white people saying like, oh, well, we cast you as a Black person in this movie, not as the character. And so when you see these subtle differences in how they play the characters, it is just, I cannot speak. You get into like incredible, like Black culture and the way that they have music. I never understood the blues until I saw how this movie portrays the blues. It is just phenomenal on every level. And she, Winmi, just fits right in along with a spectacular ensemble cast. Yeah, go watch it. It should have won Best Picture. I don't know what the Academy's thinking, except that, I don't know. Who knows?
Well, Don? I wanted to discuss now. Okay, so I have listened to multiple people pronounce her name. I always get it wrong. It's Davina Joy Randolph, I believe is the correct Davina, I believe. So Davina Joy Randolph from Only Murders in the Building, right? She plays the detective that effectively becomes the one that ends up walking them through the law enforcement side of murder through all the multiple seasons. Now, I have a relationship with Davina Joy Randolph in the Chubbies because I nominated her last year for her Oscar-winning role for The Holdovers. Okay, so why am I nominating her in this role? Yes, she's good. Yes, she's awesome. But I'm actually nominating the role for another reason too. I come from a generation of fat kid movies where the fat kid had to fight to be included, or everybody was trying to push them out of the movie, right? Going from The Goonies to Lord of the Flies, even to Russell in Up is trying to be pushed out of the movie by the other character, right?
Or their inclusion is so we can beat on them.
Exactly, right? Now, the character she plays in Only Murders in the Building is the mentor, right? A character that is usually played by whatever is the authority image we have. So usually the white dude, right? It's the guy who walks them, who educates them, who helps them, who protects them. In this case, very reluctantly, but she is still playing that role. And so for me, I was trying to figure out why I was so into this role when I realized, like, not only is she the fat character, but she is being forcibly grabbed and included by the rest of the cast sort of against her will.
She hates being included.
She hates being included. But she's so necessary and needed and competent that she is forced to join the ensemble and then finds her place. And
she begrudgingly is like, okay, you all are helpful. Okay, fine.
Yeah. And this last season of it is the one where they really, she turns the corner and becomes one of the gang in this season. Yeah. So Michael, I have one little clip that I think sort of shares this feeling I have of how she is being dragged kicking and screaming into it.
The shooter, very good.
A single 300 Win Mag casing was found in the West Tower, an apartment 14F belonging to a tenant by the name of M. Dudenoff, retired professor, who the neighbors are conveniently saying he's not in town, he's in Portugal.
Well, that's suspicious.
Exactly, that's why I said more. That's really fucking suspicious. Because who in the absolute would want to go to Portugal when you got Spain? Right? I digress.
Oh, you know that hits me hard.
Like, again, it's like, so she doesn't want to be there, but they give her these hooks that get her interested and get her involved with it, with everything else. And she brings this energy and excitement that the mentor doesn't normally bring to these scenes. So I think it's a fun new way of looking at that character.
And the comedy.
And she brings it. She is a joy to watch.
It's funny because I feel like this past season of Only Murders in the Building also really developed Howard, Michael Cyril Creighton's character.
I so agree.
And I feel like he's another fat character that I feel like initially was very much like comic relief, who I feel like has really gotten flushed out. And the past season, they're going back in time in the building and you see more of his character. And I just think it's so interesting that they flushed out so many of these characters from the building over the course of it's the 5th season now?
Yeah.
Is that the most recent one?
I love all of the little side characters. Like there's this grouchy old woman with the cat's eye glasses that always just has an unkind word to say that I'm just, as soon as she shows up on the screen, I'm locked in waiting for her to talk, you know? So in a TV show that brings a world of wonderful supporting characters, they did not slack. They are bringing it with our bigger characters too, and thank you very much for that.
Amazing.
Well, so I'm going to shift away from media to activism, although of course activists use media, and I would like to put this man's name into the ring for Chubby, William Hornby.
Yay.
Yay. So if you know William Hornby, it's probably from Instagram or TikTok. He is a multi-hyphenate artist and activist based in New York City and at the forefront of raising awareness for men with eating disorders. I first became aware of his advocacy on Instagram Reels. And between that and TikTok, he has over 400,000 followers.
Wow.
And I was looking for a clip to play. And it's really tough because what he does, and you've seen this on Instagram and TikTok, where you have a dialogue between two characters and both characters are played by the activist or by the person.
The same person, yeah.
So this is a dialogue between him and himself, but see if you can distinguish the voices as you listen.
Have you no shame telling people it's okay to be fat during an obesity epidemic? Oh, you mean the epidemic that weight loss drug companies made up to make money off of you? Nice try, but you're not going to convince me that the obesity epidemic was made up by Big Pharma. It's true whether I convince you or not. If you don't believe me, you're just wrong. Okay then, what's your evidence? Millions of Americans became fat Wednesday, even if they didn't gain a pound. That's how a 1998 CNN article called Who's Fat? New Definition Adopted opens. Wait, how did they become fat if they didn't gain a pound? They were writing about how the NIH had just lowered the thresholds for their BMI categories, obese and overweight. So some people had a normal BMI and then they were overweight the next day, and millions more who were overweight were then classified as obese, which, to be clear, is a term that is considered a slur by the fat community. But why would they do that? Well, they claimed they were just adjusting their guidelines to match the WHO's new guidelines from 1995, which is technically true. But when the WHO adopted these guidelines, it was actually against the advice of their own medical researchers. Then why did they do it? Well, the WHO actually went off of the advice of their International Obesity Task Force, which 2/3 of the funding for came from the companies Abbott and Roche. Oh no, are those the weight loss drug companies? You guessed it, they're weight loss drug companies, and they both had medications that they were hoping to bring to market soon, but struggling to find medical justification to get them approved. So they made up a whole epidemic just to make money? Yes, they made up a whole epidemic. Oh my God. And then because suddenly so many people were overweight and obese, we needed weight loss drugs to be approved so that they could come to the market and make everyone healthier. I feel crazy right now. I feel like my head is literally spinning. And they used these guidelines to market the drugs, which is something they still do through direct-to-consumer marketing. Something that is illegal in almost every country except for the United States. And if you want to learn more about that, you know where to look to read more.
So it's so important here. Yeah. And oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, this is also how pre-diabetes was invented. They lowered the numbers for what qualifies as diabetes and invented a new category called pre-diabetes. Why? Because you can't get insurance in America to pay for it unless it's treating a disease. So let's invent a disease. Called pre-diabetes, called obesity. So they invented all this. Anyway, the point is not that as much as William's activism just throughout. And he has these super clear, they're usually in the form of dialogues like this, occasionally graphics, but he works as an artist, as an actor, and advocating as a recovering victim of eating disorders. And I just love how he's really sober and really smart about how he goes through this. And it's just wonderful to watch, to look at the reels on his pages.
Yeah, we've shared his work once or twice before, and I remember feeling that they were a cut above what you would normally learn from. Like, there are plenty of good channels and influencers that have like good information, but his is just so thoroughly researched and clearly presented
And succinct, right? Because it's a reel. You can't go on forever.
Very much to the point. Yeah. He's always a joy to watch. I follow him on Instagram and regularly watch what he posts. Yeah.
I may have something locked and loaded for our next episode from him.
Oh,
nice. Glad we didn't accidentally pick that one.
Trevor.
So
for the final
final chubby of the night, I was kind of surprised by this, but I just really had to do it. Stranger Things final season.
Yes.
There's some fat, there's some gay, but really I was dreading this final season, especially when they were releasing posters of the new characters, including the character of Derek Turnbow, portrayed by Jake Connolly, who is a new character who is a classmate of Mike Wheeler's sister. Holly.
Yeah. And he's the fat little kid.
Yes. So just brief synopsis of Stranger Things. Set in the 1980s, the series centers on the residents of the fictional small town of Hawkins, Indiana, after a young girl with psychokinetic abilities named 11 inadvertently creates a wormhole known as the Upside Down at a nearby secret government research facility, connecting Earth to a hostile realm. So there's a whole lot that happens in Stranger Things.
There's a lot.
In the final season, Vecna, the big bad, portrayed by Jamie Bauer Campbell, is going after Holly and her classmates, going after younger children after going after teenagers in the previous season, disguised as Mr. Whatsit. We're introduced to this character of Derek, who is just kind of the typical 80s fat bully in a Technicolor striped sweater. And they released this poster of him with like kind of bully snarl face and like, oh, this fat kid is going to get killed. He's going to be a horrible character. I am dreading him. And he steals the show.
Yes.
They gave him a real character.
He starts off as a bully, but you get all this insight into his world. And he is a bully, but it's funny. You get an insight into his home life, and his family is horrible. And it's almost it's very Stephen King, kind of in the kind of corruption of the family.
Yeah. The parents are the real bullies.
But then there's a point later where Vecna is using an image of his parents killed to torture Derek. And he is affected by it because he, at the core, even though he is kind of mean to his sister and parents, he does care about them. And in getting involved with the gang of the heroes of the show, everyone kind of nurtures him, and his classmates call him Dipshit Derek. And there's a point where Will Byers, one of the main characters, his mother, is like, no, you're not Dipshit Derek. You can be Delightful Derek.
And they basically just show him there's another way to be.
Yeah.
And then he gets to choose to be a good guy.
Yeah. It's basically, it's such a wonderful expression or example of how community can change an individual, because they recognize and they insist that you are not Dipshit Derek. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
That's just who you go around as, and that doesn't have to be that way.
And he gets to go toe to toe with the big bad of the series several times. I actually looked it up, and he has more screen time than it's technically, I mean, if you combine Vecna and Mr. Whatsit into one character, it's not true, but he has more screen time than Vecna and more screen time than Mr. Whatsit.
And deservedly so. He is so instrumental in doing the heavy lifting of that plot. And it's really wonderful to see the fat kid being the hero, the fat kid being the villain, the fat kid being everything a human being can be.
Yeah. So this is a clip of Derek helping Holly, Mike, one of the original main character's sister, escape from Vecna.
So Derek's trying to pull her to safety.
Yeah.
and the character's signature line is "suck my fat one."
Yeah.
So he manages to rescue Holly and then flips off Vecna before they escape.
Yeah. But it was so amazing to see, wow, this is a really fleshed out character, and how people like loved him. It was hard to find clips because people made all these kind of like Derek core videos that are just all of the clips of his moments. But you get this, he's very sassy. He's kind of a jerk. There also is some like, lazy fat kid stuff, but it is where they're talking about the plan, and then like Derek is instrumental to the plan, and they pan over and he's like eating Doritos and has crumbs all over himself. And he's like, wait, what? Even though he is kind of like a jerk, he is a little kid at heart. And he has been lacking this care and support, and that, the OG Stranger Things crew really brings him in. Mm-hmm. And then he becomes kind of part of like Holly's, new friend group. It's the Cats in the Cradle and Silver Spoon, the Little Boy Blue and the Man in the Moon. But so there's this big new fat character who has a ton of screen time. And then there is also the, finally saying gay in Stranger Things. There is a big coming out scene that is kind of crucial to setting up the big finale stuff. But there's another moment prior to that between Will and Robin. Robin is a little older. She and Will are kind of getting close in this season. And I just want to share this clip of kind of her. He's alluding to his sexuality, and she has been kind of picking up on it. And it is her giving him some advice.
Struggling with it. This is before he's come out. He's struggling with it. Robin has come full circle in her own journey as a lesbian. She has a girlfriend, and which was secret for a while, and she eventually sort of gets outed and has to deal with that. And she, because she just, she knows what she sees, she has noticed from afar how Will looks at Mike, and is trying to figure out what to say to him. And this is what she says. This, by the way, is my favorite scene, maybe my favorite scene in the entire show.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Hi.
Do you, by any chance remember Tammy Thompson?
Yeah, isn't she that terrible singer?
Yeah, but in the 9th grade, I thought that she sounded like Whitney goddamn Houston. I mean, the first time I saw her, oh my God, like time slowed down. It was like a scene from some lame-o movie, her hair blew in the wind and she just looked perfect. So goddamn perfect. And it was right then and there that I knew she was the one. That with Tammy, I would finally be able to be myself, all of myself. Because there was always this part of me that kind of scared me, But I thought that if Tammy loved me, all of me, I wouldn't be so scared anymore. And then he showed up. Steve the Hair Harrington.
Oh, God.
You probably can guess the rest. Tammy fell for him hard. And my entire fantasy life with her, along with the rest of my life, pretty much imploded before my eyes. I mean, my grades plummeted. I got grounded. I had to stay home every weekend doing chores. But then one day, I was cleaning rat shit out of my parents' garage, and I found this 8mm film reel, And it was just from a silly movie that I made in the 4th grade, but I got it up on the projector, and all of a sudden, I was looking at this little version of myself. And that little me, I could hardly recognize her. She was so carefree and, fearless. just loved every part of herself. And that's when it hit me. It was never about Don't Have Tammy. It was always just about me. I was looking for answers in somebody else, but I had all the answers. Just needed to stop being so goddamn scared. Scared of who I really was. Once I did that, I felt so free. It's like I could fly, you know? Like I could finally be
Robin.
Yeah. Rockin' Robin.
That's so great. That's so great.
Even though it's not explicitly fat related, I feel like there's so much of that, you know, we contain multitudes.
Yeah.
And I think as you know, being gay and being fat and growing up and finding all the parts of yourself that are not acceptable and kind of cutting away parts of yourself and making yourself smaller. I just found like that scene was so beautiful and digestible and just a great way for everyone to be.
Yeah.
Without taking us down a long tangent, that scene changed my life. Actually.
Oh, really?
Like in a pretty profound way. That and the mid-season finale. I think, the moment with Will and Vecna halfway through the show. Just incredible scenes. Yeah.
Trevor, do we have a tip for the day?
We do. So we just threw a lot at you and we mentioned some other past Chubby Award winners. You can go to bigfatgaypod.com/chubbies, with an IES, to see all the this year's winners and the past winners in convenient list format. Because there's a lot at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, is like we don't actually get to talk about all of them. But let's get to a bit.
And with that, as we can tell, things don't always go right. And that is especially true of the Oscars. So we have a few little stories here about things that have gone wrong in the past with the Oscar Awards. So in the year 2000, just a few days before the Academy Awards, a shipment of 55 Oscar statuettes was stolen from a loading dock in Los Angeles.
I remember this.
Wow.
The local police and the FBI jumped into action, and after an extensive search, 52 of the 55 statues were recovered.
Dun, dun, dun.
What happened to the final 3 statues? 1, they were found being sold as fakes in a local Hollywood souvenir shop. 2, they were discovered in a retirement home for entertainment professionals where they had been given to 3 former nominees. 3,
that's a little too done for me.
They had been unwittingly used as an art installation still on display at the Directors Guild of America. Or 4, they were never recovered and are missing to this day.
Oh, totally never recovered.
Never recovered.
Oh, we got 2 out of 3 for never recovered.
Yeah,
Michael?
I think never recovered. I like the idea that somebody went and gave them to people who deserved it but never won, but that feels like you talking to me.
That sounds like it would be in a movie that got an Academy Award.
Well, all of you are right. They were never recovered and are in fact missing to this day. All right. The 52 missing Oscar statues were recovered when an unemployed junk scavenger named Willie Fulgier found them in a dumpster behind a Koreatown grocery store.
Who would steal them and dump them? Jesus.
What did Willie receive as a reward for helping recover the statuettes? 1, $50,000 and 2 seats at the Oscars. 2, a role in the 2001 Gene Hackman picture Heist. 3, he was arrested and charged with the theft.
Oh my God.
Or 4, a hearty handshake from the Academy president.
I feel like it's 3 or 4.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with
he
3.
got arrested. He got arrested.
Okay, we got 2 going for arrests. Michael, do you believe in the goodness of the world?
I'll be the optimist. I'll say that he got a ticket to the show.
Okay. Well, guess what, people? Sometimes the good answer is the right one. Michael,
really?
You get a point.
Oh.
He received $50,000 and 2 seats at the Oscars.
Excellent.
All right.
Nice.
In 1992, Harold Russell, the World War II veteran who stunned Hollywood by winning 2 Oscars for his poignant role in The Best Years of Our Lives in 1946, made headlines again, but this time off screen. Facing financial strain, he consigned his Best Supporting Actor statuette to Herman Darvik Autographed Auctions. On August 6th, a bidding war erupted in New York City, culminating with the private collectors securing the trophy for a little over $60,000. Russell insisted the sale funded his wife's medical care, calling it a necessary sacrifice, although there is some question saying this may have been for murkier reasons. The transaction split public opinion. While pre-1950 Oscars weren't subject to the Academy's resale restrictions, Russell's choice, a war hero auctioning his legacy, felt jarringly un-Hollywood. People went crazy. Sympathizers rallied behind his vulnerability. Ultimately, the Academy, rattled by the spectacle, doubled down on its ethos. Post-1992 winners were formally barred from profiting off their statues without first doing what? If you want to sell your statue, what do you got to do? 1, remove the statue from its base. 2, put the statue on display at the Academy offices for 1 month. 3, offer them back to the Academy for a symbolic $1. 4, the sword on the statue must be damaged or removed before it can be sold.
Ooh. Oh, this is none of I thought it was something else entirely.
I'm going to say remove the statue from the base.
Okay, we got 1 for base removal.
Well, the symbolically buying it back for $1, that feels like it's from something. I don't know if it's this or not, but I there's some weird, dumb, like, I think that might be it. I think you just can't sell them.
I like tarnishing the sword or doing something like that.
All right. The correct answer is, in fact, offering them back to the Academy for a symbolic $1.
Okay.
You are no longer allowed to auction off your statuette. You have to give it back to them if you want to. If something like that happens.
Yeah,
right?
Giving them a monetary value is just diminishes what they are.
Our final unusual Oscar question for the day. In 1938, Edgar Bergen received an honorary Oscar for his contributions to film. His statuette was unique to reflect the nature of his contributions. What was the statue made of and why? 1, the statue was made of silver to celebrate the chemistry used to improve physical film. 2, the statue was made of wood to honor his craft of ventriloquism. 3, the statue was made of candy to represent the confection sales he promoted in theaters. Or 4, the statue was made of ice to celebrate his invention of the air conditioner.
I'd say wood.
I think silver.
I'm going to go be different and say candy.
Everyone registered. We got candy. We got silver. We got wood. The correct answer is, in fact, wood.
Yeah.
Edgar Bergen was a ventriloquist that contributed major contributions to film by his performing on film.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like the silver as a distractor, though, Dom. That was very clever.
Yeah, I thought the air conditioner was a good one too. Folks, if you have a alternate Oscar that if you are holding one of those 3 missing Oscars, where could they tell us about that, Trevor?
We're on Instagram and Blue Sky as @BigFatGayPod. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars there. Leave us 5 stars and a review on your preferred podcast platform. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/BigFatGayPod. See the articles we talked about at www.bigfatgaypod.com, baby. Yeah. Well, the awards are wrapped. You got your complimentary mattress if you're here in person, and the raccoons are holding the doors open for you. So just, you gotta be careful and hope that, oh no, it's your mattress is gonna explode.
Watch out!